Hello everyone, this is Ryan, and in this lesson I'll be showing you how to work with local branches. So I once again have my project folder on my desktop with some Python files, and I've in fact created a brand spanking new local repository. So I'm going to launch the Get GUI. We can either do that from the menu or we can even do it directly within the folder by right clicking and choosing Get GUI here. Okay, so I'm connected to my existing local repository, and I have completely clean working directory. This means that the files in the project folder are identical to that which is in the local repository. And if we just go and view the branch history, we will see that there is only been one commit made so far, and there's only one branch, which is the master branch. So in terms of master is simply the default name that is allocated to the very first commit, the branch of the very first commit, and this branch is always considered to be your stable version of the code. So if you have to create any new features in your project, for example a new banner or some new module that you want to create, it's advisable to go and create a brand new branch for that particular feature. In that way, you do not interfere with the stable code. So to create a new branch, we go to the branch menu and we choose create. And then we give our branch a name. So I normally name it after the feature that I'm busy creating. So let's say it's a banner that I want to create. Then we need to choose from which branch we want to create the new branch. This means that it will use the files that are in master and copy them over to the banner branch. So those files will be identical to start off with. So we'll click create, and you'll notice that the current branch has been changed to the banner branch. And if I view the branch history, I will see that there are two branches, banner and master, and you'll see that they're on the same level as each other. This indicates to us that they have exactly the same files. You can also see that the checksums are the same no matter which one I click on. So at this point in time, the files are identical. So now we're going to start working on our new banner. So I'm going to create a text file here. I'm going to call it banner.txt, and then put in some content, make some changes to that file. Perhaps I'm also going to work on an existing file. I'll use greeter, and I will put in a variable called banner, and I'll close that. And then I will also work on personal greeter. Okay, I'll need to use I'll just use Notepad. I also want to change an existing line of text. So I'll say let's add that variable to my sentence. Then I will save the changes, and I'll exit out. And then I need to rescan in my Get GUI. Remember, the rescan is like a refresh, so we can see changes that differ from the local repository. And I need to stage these changes for commit. So I'll put in a commit message, and I'll just say phase 1 of banner complete, and then I'll commit those changes. So if I view the branch history, you will see that we have the branches on two different levels now, and they have two different checksums. So that's the checksum of the initial commit, and the checksum of the banner is different because there's been changes made. Okay, so if I want to go back to the master branch, we can go and check out the master branch. So we go to the branch menu and we choose checkout, Checkout simply means that we're pulling all the files from a particular branch into our current working directory. So the files in my project directory right now are a reflection of what's currently in the banner branch. But what happens if I need to go back to the master branch and work on those files and not interfere with this new banner feature? Well, we just go to branch checkout, then we choose master, and as soon as I click on checkout, you will notice that the files in my working directory will change to reflect what's currently in that master repository. So checkout, and did you notice some changes? My new feature disappeared, my banner files disappeared, and if I go back into the greeter file, which I changed earlier on, you see my banner variables disappeared. If I go into the personal greeter file, the other banner variable has disappeared. So these files are a reflection of what's in the master branch. And the current branch is in fact set to the master branch. So let's say I now want to go back to the banner branch. It's just a simple matter of going to the checkout option again and then choosing the banner branch and clicking on checkout. Once again, the files will change to reflect what was in the banner branch in the local repository. So you can see my new file there. If I go into the greeter file, my variable is back again, and so on. Okay, so let's say that I am happy with my banner and I am ready to merge this into the master version of the code, into the stable version of the code. This is tested and I'm happy with it. So then what we can do is we will check out the master branch again and we will do a merge. So we'll go to the merge menu and we'll choose local merge, and it says here you want to merge into master. What do we want to merge into master? Well, we want to merge the banner branch. So we click on merge and it does a success for merge. You can see it's what we call a fast forward merge. So it was a very straightforward merge. Just was the new file that was added and some new lines of text added to existing files. So if we click on close and we go and visualize the history, we will notice that the two branches are on par with each other. The checksums are going to be absolutely identical to one another, indicating that the contents of both branches are now identical. This means that I can in fact safely delete the banner branch unless I plan to continue development on that at a later stage. So I'm going to delete that, and to do that I will go to the branch option and choose delete, and I will choose to delete the banner branch. Press delete and the branch has been deleted. If I go and visualize the history, you will see you no longer see the banner branch, only the master branch, but yet we can still have those new files and the changes made to our greeter files. So if I look in the working directory, I can see my banner files there. I can go into the greeter file, see that the variable's been added, and we're happy. I'm once again in the master branch. So now I would like to show you an example of a conflict. So conflict occurs when you edit the same line of text in a file in both branches and you try and merge the two together. So let's once again create a new branch. Let's say we got a new feature that we want to create. So we will say we want to create a branch. This time I will just call it customer database. Customer database. Okay. And we're going to create it off the master branch. Click on create. So if we visualize the changes, we see that once again there are two branches, but they're on the same level, same checksum, meaning the files are identical to one another. But it's automatically checked out the files that were in that branch, so the files in this working directory are now the files that are in the customer database branch. So I'm going to use greeter as an example, and I'm going to change the cool banner to be cool banner version 2. Save that. Also going to create another branch off of the master branch. So this is quite critical that when you create a new branch, you choose which branch you want to create that branch off of. So let's say I create a new feature and I create it off of master. That means I will get the files that were in master, not the files that were in customer database. Okay, so if we go and view what's happened, I now have 3 different branches. They're all on the same level. I actually have forgotten to commit the changes I made, so let me do that quickly. I need to flip back to my customer database branch, do a rescan, because I did change that greeter file, and then commit those changes. Okay, we need to stage the changes, then commit the changes. Okay, so if I visualize again, now we can see that the customer database is on a different level. It's had 1 extra commit than the master and the new feature branches. Right, let me switch back to check out the new feature branch. And let's go and change that same file again. But I will say very cool banner. So I'm changing the exact same line of text in the same file. And you'll remember that I changed the same line of text in the other branch as well. So I'll save that change. Don't forget to always rescan, stage the changes, and put in a commit message. Okay, let's visualize changes. Okay, so it's getting interesting now. We can actually see a real tree structure happening. So what we're going to do is we need to start merging our changes together back into the master branch. So I'm going to switch back to the master branch. And we're going to do a merge. We can do either one first. Let me do the customer database first. So that was easy, no problem, successful merge. Now I'm going to merge in the new feature branch into the master branch, and this is where we're going to get a conflict. So you'll get an error message, conflict has occurred, so there's a merge conflict in the greeter file, and automatic merge failed, so we need to manually fix the conflicts. Okay, so you'll see that within greeter.py it's actually added some code. So I'm going to open up this file in a text editor. I'll use Notepad++, then you can see the colors. So we had a name variable, we had an age variable, and we had a banner variable. But you'll see now it's added this line of code here with a whole bunch of less than symbols and the word head. This indicates the one of the versions of the file that's in the head of the latest commit. And then the other one after this line of equal to signs is the version from the other commit. So now I need to decide which one I want, or I can even have a combination of the two. So let's say from the head I like this cool idea, so I'll have cool banner version 2, but then from new feature I had very cool banner, so why don't we just do this very cool banner version 2. Then I need to delete the extra code that was added in when the conflict occurred. And now we are back to the way we want it to be. I'm going to save the file and once again do a rescan, and now it's updated the changes, and I'm now happy to stage those changes. I'll have to manually stage the changes. Stage to commit, and it's still going to be a merge branch. If I want, I can put in some additional comments here. So fixed a merge conflict with the banner variable. And commit. And well, let's have a look and visualize the changes made. All sorts of interesting lines happening here. But in essence, if we go and look at new feature and we look at the checksum, we look at master, the checksum is different. That's because we did a merge, we merged that conflict. And in fact, it would appear that they each have different checksums. That's because they all have different versions of that one line of code. Okay, so I'm going to delete these other two branches because I'm finished with them. So we can actually do it from here by right clicking and choosing remove this branch, and we can do this one as well. And now I've deleted both branches and we're left with only one branch, which is the master branch. Okay, so that ends our lesson on working with local branches.